What's up, everyone? And this is your girl, Shanti, the host of the Mibo Show podcast. And we are doing a little B-roll, if you will. And we have a bonus content day for you today. We're interviewing someone who is a multiple myeloma survivor. Tiffany was diagnosed with multiple myeloma in 2013. This life-changing cancer experience drove her to become a multiple myeloma advocate, committed to increasing disease awareness and improving outcomes. Tiffany is known for her work in encouraging diversity in multiple myeloma, and she is a speaker, support group leader, and a member of multiple patient councils and advocacy boards for national organizations and pharmaceutical companies. She has previously contributed to peer-reviewed journal articles and was recently awarded the 2022 Multiple Myeloma Health Equity Heroes Award by Cure Magazine. Wow, that is incredible. Let's welcome to the show Tiffany Hawkins Williams. Hi, Tiffany.
Hey there. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I am so proud of you and the work that you've been doing. And more importantly, I'm just glad that you're here and that you're with us and you're able to share your story and your journey. So my first question for you, Tiffany, is can you share how you learned that you had multiple myeloma?
It was back pain that led to the diagnosis. But in hindsight, I had anemia, significant fatigue, low white blood count, a lot of the common symptoms that accompany a diagnosis of multiple myeloma, but it was the back pain. It was sudden and it was severe, and I knew it wasn't right, and I just listened to my body. I immediately
not like a normal backache, more excruciating.
So it was, and I thought this is not something I need to just take Tylenol and rest through. I knew it wasn't right. It was a horrible, very significant pain. And ironically, I had a history of herniated discs and had previous surgeries for them. And I actually thought that I had a reherniation because the pain was pretty similar. And so I just contacted the provider who had done the herniated disc repair actually the year before and got an appointment. He scheduled an MRI because he too thought that it was something like that. And so the MRI revealed that I had lesions on my spine, which is what happens with multiple myeloma.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm so grateful that you're here with us and sharing your story and thriving and able to help others. Can you share with us a little bit more about what your experience was like trying to educate yourself or your family about multiple myeloma, and what resources did you use, and what do you think others should know?
So what's interesting is I had spent 20 plus years in healthcare as a registered nurse practitioner, and, in healthcare. My entire adult life was in healthcare. But when I was diagnosed, none of that mattered. None of that helped. The only thing that really helped me was that I worked in my career was in the same institution, academic center where I was getting care. So I knew people. I had the resources of knowing the medical team, the different departments. One of my very best friends was a nurse leader in the cancer center where I was referred to for an evaluation. And so I relied heavily on my support system of friends and the medical team and experts who I knew and trusted. And so it took that burden off of me having to go out there and search information on my own initially. It wasn't until after, I kind of came to terms and grips with the diagnosis and this is what I'm dealing with that I started, searching for information myself and educating myself.
What would you say to someone who doesn't have the resources, right? Or is not in those close connected circles? You just kind of rely on your primary healthcare doctor and those referrals to a specialist, or is it anything else that you would say?
I would say connect with someone you trust, because we know that a lot of people in our community don't ask questions of their healthcare providers. They may not even trust their healthcare providers, and just a slew of other different things, right? So I always say, find someone you trust. It might be a neighbor, it might be a family member, it might be someone from your church, another organization that you're a part of, but find that person who can be your voice when you don't feel like you can use your voice, who can help you find resources where you don't know where to find it. So I always say, just always find someone you can have to depend on. They might not know the answers, but they might be more empowered to help you get the answers that you might be on your own.
Absolutely. And just a few more questions. What would you say to other people living with multiple myeloma or their care partners who are just starting out? Like, I know you said, find someone you trust, but is it anywhere else they can find support, or any like community groups or organizations that you would suggest?
Definitely. I would say, first off, you're not alone in this journey. You don't have to be alone in the journey, right? It's a choice to reach out for help. And it's also a choice to find help and resources. So there are a lot of organizations, information resources out there that are specific to multiple myeloma, but then there's a growing number that's available for Black communities and how
Oh,
multiple
really?
myeloma specifically impacts us, ways that we can be supported for our unique and individual needs and barriers and those types of things. I'm actually involved with several of them. The International Myeloma Foundation has an initiative called the Empower Program. Johnson and Johnson's That's My Word campaign I work closely with. Those are just two of the ones that I am more heavily involved with and really feel proud to be a part of, because it offers resources that I think are culturally competent, culturally appropriate for our unique needs. And I think they are actually um, resources that um, the work has been put in, and it's very obvious and evident that the work has been put in, that says they don't just check a box, but they have been tested and proven, and the work has been put in to make sure that it meets those needs.
Oh, that's great information. And have you witnessed or experienced firsthand any systemic, personal, or cultural barriers during your care journey, including getting earlier treatment or access to optimal treatment?
Like I mentioned a little earlier, because of my access to early care, to the care center, and those resources, I personally haven't experienced many of those barriers. But that's mainly the reason that I'm doing what I do, because I just truly and strongly believe that to whom much is given, much is required. And the privileges that I have had in my journey, I know aren't unique to all people who look like me with a multiple myeloma diagnosis. And so I have found purpose in this diagnosis by giving back as a way to increase awareness, not only in my community with patients, but just as much with the healthcare community, and helping people recognize and appreciate the fact that not everyone shares my experience. And I want to be a voice for those who aren't given that opportunity to this platform and many of the other platforms that I
Well,
have.
we certainly appreciate your voice, and you using your platform and just, being transparent with us about what you've been through. I speak for our community. Just thank you so much. And I want to know also, Tiffany, why did you decide to become a part of the That's My Word campaign?
I think I shared a little bit of it earlier when I said how I just really believe in it. I've been a champion of it from the very beginning. I saw it as it was unfolding, and the work that went in, the behind the scenes, the considerations, all of those things that I think are really important to drive the mission. And I see that the cultural appropriateness of it is really a piece that's been missing, I think, with a lot of other programs, that says, hey, we see you, we hear you, and these are some things we're going to do to help you.
Absolutely. Thank you. And you may or may not know that I partner with Johnson and Johnson on That's My Word, which is a campaign in response to address some of the healthcare disparities and raise awareness of multiple myeloma. That's My Word asks people to make a promise to our loved ones, to ourselves, and our community. And I've made my multiple myeloma promise, which is to bring awareness to my community through my podcast and other things that I do, and to make sure I keep my appointments and then I'm getting my blood work done and everything else and all of my regular checkups. So my last question for you, Tiffany, is do you have a promise that you'd like to share with our listeners?
I do. That's my word promise is to advocate for change, strategies that create change to help eliminate the barriers in the health, to improve health equity um, for Black patients with multiple myeloma, all patients, but particularly people of color.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time today and your energy and your transparency and for being a part of this important conversation. I appreciate you.
Thank
We
you.
honor you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.